We're kicking off the course with a series of lessons packed with theory. And because a single lesson would be far too long to cover everything that we need, I'm splitting the topics into smaller lessons, each one as short as possible and focused on one aspect of desensitization and counter conditioning at a time. This should also make it easier for you to refer back to a particular lesson if you want to have another look at the topic that it covers. I also thought it would be an excellent opportunity to remind you of the benefit of splitting tasks into very small pieces when working with your dog. Think of it as creating a flip book. The art of taking a pad of paper and then drawing many images of, for example, a stick man in various stages of walking on each sheet of paper, so that you can then create a movie by flicking the edges of the paper really quickly. In order to get that finished motion picture product, you need to create an image for each micro movement. The smaller the movement, the smoother the movie and the more polished the finished product. Most really good flip books are made up of a super thick pile of paper, indicating just how many drawings are involved in making a flip book movie. And flip book artists need to just barely alter each successive image in order to get the end result, which can be pretty amazing. And translated into a DS and CC program, that thick pile of paper would represent the long list of individual steps in your plan. In other words, there are a lot of individual steps. And the tiny, barely perceptible differences between each drawing would represent the tiny increases of the level of exposure to the scary thing. So if you apply this approach to your DS and CC program, it may appear as though you're barely making progress because you're moving forward in micro steps, but the end result will be worth it. To give you an example of what constitutes bite-sized tasks, consider this simple task description for hand washing. First, turn on the water. Second, wet your hands. Third, rub hands with soap. Fourth, rinse hands with water. 5, turn off the water. And 6, dry your hands. It's pretty straightforward, yeah? So much so that if you were reading the text, you would probably just scan the list and you wouldn't really read all the instructions. Now, break this down into even smaller pieces. 1, reach for the tap with your right hand. 2, turn on the water. 3, wet both hands simultaneously. 4, reach for the soap pump with your left hand. 5, pump a small amount of soap into your hand. 6, rub hands together with soap. 7, rinse both hands under the running water. 8, reach for the tap with your right hand. 9, turn off the water. And 10, dry your hands. Can you break this task down even more? Yeah, of course you can. What if you had to draw this task for a flip book? What details might be missing from this list to make the movie appear smooth and seamless? Now, for your first assignment, split this task into even more detail. And don't worry, there are no right or wrong answers here. I just want you to start thinking in terms of micro steps, because this is a skill that you'll need to employ when you're using desensitization techniques. So I'll tell you what, if you're sitting at your computer right now, trying to imagine what other steps you could possibly add to this mundane task description, consider getting up and walking to your bathroom sink to actually perform the task. And pay special attention to everything that you do. Are you reaching for 2 taps with both hands? Or do you have a single tap for both hot and cold water? Do you have to pause between turning on the tap and wetting your hands because you have to wait for the water temperature to warm up? Where are your hands while you wait? How many times are you pressing on the soap pump? Or do you have a bar of soap instead? Do you have to turn your body to reach the hand towel? What side is it on? These are just my ideas. Come up with your own.